Drivers, people at work, lend me your ears. This is Ben Phillips, and I am with the Sabrina and Ben Home Real Estate Show. And you know this show. You know what it's about. It's about homes. It's about real estate. It's about the mortgage market. And frankly, that means that we're going to help people in their quest to become homeowners. We're going to help folks in their quest to sell their home. We're going to help folks in their quest to obtain a lower rate, a lower fee mortgage. Man, that covers a lot of stuff, doesn't it? Again, I'm Ben Phillips, and we've got a cool list today. We've got, this is my fourth show, and I want to tell you a little bit about my background today. I'm going to open the phone lines to the community, and I can't wait to hear what your opinion is today about things going on in the world and how it impacts the real estate market. Also, we're going to talk about home values and what impacts home values. We're going to talk about religion, and we're going to talk about politics. And one of the funny things is I keep hearing that you're not supposed to go on a radio show and talk about religion and politics. Well, sign me up. Sign me up. So, hey, I like to go against the grain, folks, and we're going to have some fun today. Again, this show is brought to you by Home Rate Mortgage, quick quotes, low rates, and fast closings. In fact, we just had a closing the other day that we closed in 12 days. And this home buyer, the special story here was that the buyer was able to close in 12 days, and then the seller was able to close on their home with us. Now that says something about a company. That says how we're growing, because I can't say that that's happened too many times, but that's exciting when you're helping both sides of the transaction occur. It's like a domino effect. Home Rate Mortgage, you can get a quote from us right now at 805-9100. It just takes a few minutes, folks. So what do you have to lose? 805-9100. That's 423-805-9100. You can see our rates right now at homeratemortgage.com. Go to that website and check it out. We just added that feature. We used to have it a couple years ago, and we are excited to have live rates on our website. So we will beat any deal. We have the Home Rate Mortgage close guarantee, best deal guarantee, and there is no doubt in my mind that the strongest mortgage company out there is the one that's willing to invest in its training for its employees. It helps its employees go to the top, and it helps its clients go to the top. So there's certainly a balancing act in running a business, because if you have 25 to 30 employees like I do, you absolutely have to balance their success with your client's success. And the people that figure that formula out, they're the ones that are really going to take those businesses up and away. And, speaking of that, we are going up and away. I'm really proud to say we're opening up a Knoxville office. We're opening up a Nashville office. We have 2 Atlanta branches, all started right here in Chattanooga. How exciting is that? And this show, by the way, is also brought to you by Sabrina Smedley of Sabrina Realty. Your home ownership dreams start and end with the right realtor, and that right realtor is Sabrina Smedley. Sabrina is your trusted realtor in Chattanooga, and you can reach her team right now, 423-499-7780. She has staff ready to take your call, and she meets with 99% of her clients. You can find her listings at sabrinarealty.com. And hey, what a great time in the world to be a real estate agent. Sabrina wasn't able to make it today. And the reason why is because she's busting her butt right now down at the budget meeting. She's working for the community. She's representing District 7. She is the commissioner for District 7, which is the East Brainerd, Ooltewah, Collegedale area. And I am just proud to have Sabrina as a friend, as an acquaintance, as a business partner, and as a co-host on this incredible show that we plan on doing a lot of great things with. Well, we couldn't make it without you guys, the listeners. And I say guys, I don't mean to leave out those ladies, because those ladies are awesome. And I couldn't be successful without my wife each and every day. So ladies, we appreciate you listening, and we expect to hear from you. In fact, all you have to do is make a call to 423-800-8949. That's the call-in line to Hot News Talk Radio. And Hot News Talk Radio needs to be on every station out there. It needs to be on every car radio. It needs to be on every internet radio in the doctor's office, the dentist's office. Hey, our success depends on you helping us voice your opinion that, hey, local talk matters. Local companies matter. That's how our community grows. And that's why I'm really excited to talk about home values, because I want to tie that into our community, our success in our community, the leadership in our community, et cetera. And, wouldn't it be great if we had a leader in the community touch base with the community right here live on the show? Hey, leaders in the community, I welcome you to call in today, 423-800-8949. We want to hear from you. We want to hear about what you're going to do in the community, what's on your mind. We want to hear how it relates to the housing and mortgage market. We can throw in the politics as well. But we are so thankful for all of our listeners. We are growing and we are pumped. So, hey, let's get right into this. As I came in today, I was talking to a friend about success, and I love being a coach. I coach 25 to 30 people, and I can assure you, you know what? I've got a good call coming in, so I'm going to take this call. I believe. Bear with me 1 second. Caller, you're on the air.
Ben, I have a question about bridge loans. I have a place in Florida, and I'm looking at getting one here. I haven't started the process yet, but I hear about bridge loans. I just look exactly what is a bridge loan and the type of bridge loans and things of that sort when you're trying to buy a house and sell a house and so on and so forth. And I'll listen on the radio.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening, and thanks for your question. As far as the bridge loan is concerned, I wanted to ask the caller if he or she was buying the home, or if they already had a home, maybe they were buying a different home. That's usually what a bridge loan's for. A bridge loan is to sort of, it's a temporary transaction where your mortgage company or banker is supporting the end goal. So, for example, some people are going to buy some place down in Florida, and they haven't sold their home yet. So they can't get, because of the requirements, because of the this or that, the business needs, just all of the information that goes into a mortgage, because it's just not the right time to have a conforming fixed mortgage. They give a bridge loan. And when I say they, I mean the lender provides a bridge loan. So it's a temporary mortgage. The danger of temporary is the same problem we had with these adjustable rate mortgages. 2008 housing collapse, really, it started a lot earlier than that. And it started when we seriously took into effect this sort of belief that everybody paid their mortgage on time. And that if we gave someone making $10 an hour $1 million home without saying, oh, you know what, they really can't afford this, we just thought that somehow they were going to be able to afford it anyway. So a bridge loan is similar to these adjustable rate mortgages because they do have a very short time period where they are due. And everyone knows that when it comes to a due date, the only reason you would get a bridge loan is because you can't get that full conforming loan right now. So in essence, you are adding risk to your own arsenal, your tool set. There is risk added there because that bridge loan has a very short time period. And you've got to read that language. You've got to get your attorney to read it because that stuff can impact you. You can lose your home if you're not careful. Again, a bridge loan is to necessitate the inevitable that you hope to have happen, which is to get the long-term financing. 15, even 10 years is longer term than a bridge loan. A bridge loan is typically 3 months to 2 years. And I would say 2 years is stretching it. So thanks, caller. I appreciate that. Always want to take callers. Callers always take precedent here on the Sabrina and Ben Holmes show. And I'll tell you, the reason why is because the community wants to know answers, and we've got the answers here. So thanks so much, caller. I want to talk a little bit about my life. I got a little beef last week after the show. I said, hey, I'm a Cubs fan, and I'm going all in Chicago Cubs this year. And, frankly, folks that are listening out there, some people called me, some of my friends called me and said, hey, what the heck? Why are you a Cubs fan? And that's where I want to just let you know a little bit about me, because you can't learn about mortgages unless you know who's talking to you about the mortgages. So here's where it starts. First of all, Ben Phillips, me, I was born in Cleveland, Tennessee, 1977. It was a good year. Bradley Memorial Hospital. My mom had me in 29 minutes. She checked in at 2:00 p.m. and I was born at 2:29 p.m. It's cool stuff. I was a fast baby as soon as I came out fast. Let's just say that. I continued that fastness because skipping ahead a little bit, I was a 3-time individual state champion, one team state championship here in Tennessee. So I graduated from Cleveland High School and broke a couple state records. One has been broken already, and one still stands for most mile championships in Tennessee. So the neat thing about my history is that I had some serious success in my mind, some big time success. And that success was done because of the old adages of, you work hard, you believe in yourself, you have a good family that's backing you up. And that family supports in the things you do, and you make good decisions. You don't win every time, but at the end of the day, you win. And I got a full ride to college. I went to Oklahoma State, and hey, guess what? Good timing, because we have another caller. Let's take this call. Hopefully somebody from the community. Yes, caller. Who is this?
Hey, Ben, it's Weston Wamp.
Weston Wamp. My friend, Weston Wamp. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man.
Excellent. Now, Weston, speaking of champions, Weston is certainly a strong community leader in the area. Weston, what's on your mind today?
Man, well, I just enjoy the fact that my buddy Ben Phillips is now on the radio. I kind of got into the radio business just for fun about, 9 or 10 months ago. And I think it's a great platform still for guys like me and you who've got a lot of stuff to say, and more than half of it makes sense. I think it's a good platform for guys like us. It's kind of funny, I work in technology, and one of the more surprising things about terrestrial radio is it's one of the very few things that almost all Americans have in common. If you're over 16 years old, it's almost certain that at some time during the week you listen to terrestrial radio. So it's kind of crazy. It's now 100-plus-year-old technology that has held up pretty well. But I'm just thinking, and I'd like to get some of your thoughts, but obviously Sabrina is now in politics and at a county level, and I think you're interested in being more and more politically active, but you're running this incredible mortgage company and you're helping people save money and navigate the process of getting in a home or selling one. And I just can't help but thinking, when you see as much crime as we've seen in parts of Chattanooga, when you see the big debates and the divisive debates about the future of public education, that ends up having huge ramifications in the residential real estate market. I feel like I saw it as Shelby and I were on the search really primarily for a piece of land to build in. I mean, values on the close side of Signal Mountain, the side closest to town, have gone crazy. Obviously, North Chattanooga has. And I just feel like as the disparity between our good schools and our bad schools gets wider, it's going to get more and more expensive to buy into certain neighborhoods. And if you're buying into a community where the schools are on the rise, that may be one of the better investments you could possibly make right now.
Wow. That's you bring up a lot of good points. And I would like to get into some specifics about public education because I did see some recent news where there was a very divisive debate. But let me start at the top. I've got a Wall Street Journal source that states 85% of all Americans listen to terrestrial radio at least once per week. So you're right. There's no doubt everyone is listening and we have an opportunity to voice our opinion, but more than just it being my opinion, I only have an opinion and I want to voice it because I want to make a difference for others and I want others to engage me so I can develop that opinion even better. It's through engagement and communication that we can all continue to grow. If there's somebody out there that thinks they know it all, Weston, then that's almost a dictatorship at that point, isn't it?
Sure.
When you think you know it all and you can't learn.
That's one of the parts of your business that a lot of times is lacking. You know, what I've found, even in my own experiences, I'm in the business of financing companies and understand a lot of process as well. But it wasn't until I sat down with you that Shelby and I really understood some of the mechanics of the mortgage process. And it's clear, and part of this is just knowing you and kind of having background with you. But once you know you realize that you're not just in it because you're a great business guy and you're an entrepreneur, but you understand that, first of all, like people's mortgage, when they're going into a home and coming out of a home, in 90% plus of cases, that's their largest personal investment. It might be more than that.
I think people switch jobs more than
there is so meaningful in any type of a mortgage decision.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So then it all ties in back to this local community thing with this crime. Would you agree, Weston, that right now the crime rate is increasing in certain areas beyond, where it's almost an emergency situation at this point?
Yeah, I think so. And I think part of it is that it's a cultural issue. It's almost not as much a statistical issue as it is a cultural one. And it's one that affects the perception of Chattanooga and badly affects the reputation, I think, of some communities or even communities that are closer to others. I mean, I grew up on Big Ridge, and I went to Big Ridge Elementary for 6 years when it was, in about 1995, it was named the National School of Excellence.
Wow.
And it's still a great school.
No doubt.
It's not, maybe a nationally elite school anymore, but I just think back to what having that kind of a public education institution meant to our part of Hickson. Like, it was a total magnet. It would have made zero, no offense to any of the private Christian schools. Obviously, I go way back with Chattanooga Christian School, but it would have made no sense in the late 90s when I was growing up. None whatsoever to send your children to a private school, Bright or Chattanooga Christian, if you lived on Big Ridge, because there was such high-quality education, and parents were paying so much attention. And I mean, you and I both come from kind of a faith perspective, and I think the part of this that we can't avoid, and it's crazy how it ties to real estate and real estate values, but it does directly, is a lot of these problems start in the home, where a shrinking number of Chattanooga young people have a nuclear family that's intact, a mom and a dad. And to be honest with you, just to be, kind of to call a spade, it's usually that they don't have a dad involved. It's
but why? But
don't have a mom.
Weston,
I think that's the systemic problem.
Weston, tell me something. If you're okay, you've brought up that it's a cultural issue. You've brought up that it's the kids are growing up without a dad in the home. So let's, we have a few minutes left here. We got 3.5 minutes. Don't we start with education here? I mean, don't we put all of our chips in education? Is this how we solve it? I mean, how do we make better dads? Is that where we're getting to?
Yeah, I do. I think it's sort of twofold. One is, being better dads, I think some of that comes by setting an example and educating people. Some of it is working in the hearts and minds of young men and teaching them their responsibilities and the great joy that comes with fulfilling their responsibilities. It's not responsibilities in a bad way. I mean, the greatest privilege of my life is being a dad, not leaving my son behind, but actually supporting him and like earning money to buy him food and clothes and toys and then as that'll get more meaningful as life goes on. So I think there's a few different approaches. There's no question though that we've got to make a real commitment, even those of us with ties to private schools, to public schools. And one of the thoughts I've had is we've built a house in Lookout Valley in the last several months. There's a whole lot of us here in Lookout Valley who are talking about making our own personal time and financial investment in the elementary school out here in Lookout Valley, which has never been a terrible elementary school, but it's not a real high-performing one. And we think, like a great way to serve ourselves and our community at the same time is to go and invest in public education. It's going to have an impact on our kids' friends. And then the crazy thing, as it has to do with your show, is I am convinced that if Lookout Valley Elementary School is a better school, it helps mine and my wife's biggest investment, our home.
Maybe our biggest investment starts with the children, becomes the parents of the future.
Investment is what I mean, but sure.
No, I'm with you. I'm just trying to step back and say, okay, folks, we've got a local guy here that was brought up in the heart of Chattanooga, Big Ridge, right across the river. And look at what Weston has done. I've heard about you for years. I've watched it. I didn't know you 5 years ago, but I knew of you. And, Weston has a faith perspective. He had a strong family. His dad was in Congress, obviously. And, it's all about the family. It's all about education. He was at the Big Ridge. You were at Big Ridge, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we've got a local guy. We've got a guy that's saying, hey, we got to get in the hearts and minds of people to basically change this cultural, this growing cultural issue. And it starts with hiring the right people in education, right?
I think so. I think it's a community type investment. Even if your kids are going to go to Macaulay and Baylor, it's recognizing that our community's quality of life has a cap on it if we don't fully commit to public education, and in the process commit to treating the well-being of all Chattanooga families the same, whether it's Alton Park or Lookout Valley. And I don't know that that's been Chattanooga's tradition, but in order for us to fix the violence issue, we've got to get there.
And don't give up, folks. What you're saying, we've got to act, but the key is not giving up. The city, the Congress, the legislation, they will sometimes tell us no, but that doesn't mean we stop fighting. We've got to change the legislation. We've got to work through the no. We've got to create good relationships. And that's exactly why we do have a radio show, because we can voice our opinion. We can connect with the community, and the community can help rise us up to make better decisions for the future of Chattanooga and our community. Weston, thanks so much for having us. We got to run, but you have a great show. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'll let you go ahead and say it. When is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, ESPN 105 on the Zone, if that's what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm probably going to get my butt kicked for that, but hey, you know what? We're all working together, correct?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Amen. Hey, listen, thanks so much for your time, Weston. We're so glad to have your call today, and hope to hear from you again.
All right, see you, buddy.
Thanks. All right. That was a great call, and we decided to go over on that. We've got about 30 seconds left. This is the Ben and Sabrina Show, and you can reach us live on the air when we get back. It's brought to you by Home Rate Mortgage. Quick quotes, low rates, and fast closings. That is the Home Rate Mortgage Guarantee. 805-9100 or homeratemortgage.com. Also brought to you by Sabrina Smedley of Sabrina Realty. You can reach them right now at 423-499-7780. This is Hot News Talk Radio, and we are live. Make it a great day, Chattanooga. I'll see you in just a few minutes after the news break. Welcome back. This is Ben Phillips with the Sabrina and Ben Home Show. All things real estate, all things mortgage, brought to you by Sabrina Realty. It all starts. What starts? Your home ownership dreams start with the right realtor. Folks, if you don't know that, you just heard it. I'm telling you that. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I'm telling you the right realtor makes the difference in your success in buying a home. Sabrina Realty makes that dream come true. They're real people. They're passionate folks, and they absolutely drive success for the clients. They find them the home. They negotiate the contracts. They save folks so much money. If you don't use a realtor, you're losing money. So everybody thinks it costs money to use a real estate agent. It's the exact opposite. You save money. You reduce the risk in the entire arrangement. The real estate agent guides you. They help you win. And it usually is significant savings by using a realtor. That's just a fact. It's you can read all about it. You've got to call Sabrina today if you need a new home. If you need to sell your home, call Sabrina. Think about it. She's the commissioner of District 7. She knows everybody. Everybody's calling her anyway. She advertises. She has the best mortgage company in the universe backing her up. What a great time to be in the real estate market. Give her a call for all your real estate needs. Sabrina and her team, they are absolutely incredible. You can call them right now, 423-499-7780. Okay, maybe you out there, maybe you don't want to talk to her right now. Maybe you just want to browse on the internet, that wonderful thing that I call a communication barrier between two human beings. But go ahead and look at all of her listings. She's got tons of listings on her website, sabrinarealty.com. It's the second hour. I'm going to finish up what we talked about. I've got a special guest. What's going on?
Hey,
Who's
Ben.
this guy?
This is Eric Judd, and Ben. Twice I've heard you talk about that you're going to tell all our listeners why you're a Cubs fan, and I'm dying to know. In fact, I've listened to you every week, so I drove to the studio and said, you know what? I want him to tell why he's a Cubs fan.
Well, I appreciate you showing up just for me, just to hear this Cubs story.
Just for you.
Okay, so it starts like this. First of all, I am born and raised in Tennessee, was born right here in Cleveland, Tennessee, and I am a Tennessee fan. Here's what happened. I wanted to be a Tennessee graduate from college, and that dream didn't come true because this guy named Doug Brown was the coach. I was the state champ. I was the one that got all the full rides from everywhere in the country. I got a full ride offer from just about every single school that I talked to. Oklahoma State was number 2 in the country my senior year, and they gave me a full ride to go to college. The problem is that University of Tennessee, Doug Brown, in hindsight, he was leaving that year to go coach Florida. And that's why he offered me absolutely nothing. So yeah, I've got a little beef with Doug Brown personally, but you know, at the end of the day, I've always been a Tennessee fan. I go to Tennessee games. My boys are going to grow up and hopefully go to Tennessee and all that. But when I was a child, my mom let me go live with some family members, we'll just say, and they lived in Chicago. And I was about 6, 7 years old, and I lived up in Chicago from age about almost 7 years old till 12 years old. And then that's when I came back to Tennessee, back to Cleveland, Tennessee with my mom. And, you know, for a mother to give up her child for 4, 5 years, I mean, that's not the real story. I mean, she saw me quite a bit. We saw each other, but she gave me a special opportunity. Is that live? Okay. Bear with us just 1 second. Looks like the broadcast centers.
Eliminated monthly tests of the broadcast stations in your area. Equipment that can quickly warn you during
We'll start back here in just 1 second after this alert is done.
Official messages wouldn't follow the alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
All right, so I got to live in Chicago for that 5 years, and this family was very wealthy. I had my own swan. I had 3 boats. I had a lake I fished at. When I came home from school, I would literally fish in this pond and just pull out fish left and right for 3 hours until they made me come inside to eat dinner and do my homework. So, you know, I was up in Chicago during those years, during my growing up years, and I witnessed the Cubs go play San Diego in 1984. And it was an exciting time. I was a Cubs fan as a little kid. I wanted to see the Cubs win it all. And Steve Garvey, an individual on the San Diego Padres, ruined my life that year. He single-handedly, he hit like 9 home runs during the series. It was absolutely insane. And Steve Garvey was the most hated man in Chicago that year. But ever since then, my mom got me back home when I was 12. And from there, it's history. I'm a Cubs fan because I lived there for 5 years. It was a special time in my life. I've lived very rich during that time. I had everything I wanted that I could possibly get, and I was very, very blessed to be a kid in that environment. My mom was a single mother, raising me just about my whole life. And then when I was 12, I got adopted by my stepfather, and he was a basketball coach at Cleveland State. community college, and his name's Roby Phillips. Everybody calls him Robert. And he was the first and only basketball coach, to take Cleveland State to the Sweet 16 for junior college. And so I don't know if they've put a big statue of him yet out there in front of Cleveland State. I'm just kidding. I know they haven't. But what a great coaching career he had. And, those state championships that I won in high school that helped prop up my running career and then my business career and mortgages, there's no doubt that it had a lot to do with the various people in my life. I think it's a blessing to have issues in your life where you have different parents, because it's all about how you look at it. It's all about perspective. Just like a goal is all about perspective. You got to be reasonable enough to say, hey, this goal's not going to work out. But you got to be reasonable enough to blame yourself for not proper planning or proper preparation. So that's a little bit about me, and you'll hear over the next several months, you'll learn a lot more about myself. I am born and raised in Tennessee. I love Tennessee, and there's no doubt that if the Braves were my team, I'd be wearing a Braves cap. So sorry, Braves fans, but when the Cubs are in town, I'll be down there. The mortgage industry. Rates are still in the threes, y'all. It's absolutely amazing. You can still get under 3 if you get a 15-year with an APR just over the 3 mark. What a great time to buy. Just think about this. In the last 35 years, the Wall Street Journal says the average interest rate, 7.9. 7.9. Now, I get told not to talk numbers on the radio, but this is the kind of number that you can put in your pocket, folks. Think about this. We've got a number. The average interest rate is 7.9, and today you can get interest rates in the 3s. Well, I can do basic math with you. We're just going to round that 7.9 down to 7. And 7 minus 4, we're going to use 4. Everyone can get a 4% right now. That's 3%. That's how much interest you save each year. On $100,000, 3% times $100,000 is $3,000 a year. What that means is you can save $270 on your monthly mortgage payment. Now, you tell me something. Would you rather buy later and spend $270 more a month for the same house? A house that's probably going to be worth a lot more money? Exactly. That's my point. It's better. It's a better time to buy than to rent. I'm going to ask my friend Russell to come in here. He works at the station, and I was going to ask him some questions because I promised y'all a little topic about religion today.
Oh, no.
Russell, how's it going?
Hi, this is Sabrina with Sabrina Realty.
Hey, Sabrina, you look like you woke up on the other side of the bed today.
I always wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
Excellent. That's what we like. We need a good cynic in life. Are you a cynic?
Always a cynic.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. This is good. It's good to have opposites because I'm an eternal optimist, but I believe in cynics. Isn't that what's going on here?
You believe we exist, or you just believe that we're right? Or
I can't share that information, but okay. I certainly can gladly engage you and learn from you, and learn how to build against you. Maybe if I don't agree with you, right?
Right. That's why you spar with people. You learn how you can better defend yourself from them.
Yeah. Look, he's using spar. What the heck is he doing?
It's my karate training kicking in. Very limited.
Okay, Russell. Now, the only reason we're talking about religion today is because everyone tells me that I'm not supposed to talk about religion on the radio.
Right.
Well, I'm not the most cautious person in the universe, and that's what got me here. And if you notice what's going on today, I mean, there's this guy named Donald Trump leading in all the polls. He's about to be the Republican nominee. I said this several months ago, and that he was going to be the nominee. And the fact is, he's doing it by going against the grain.
Yep.
And that's why I thought it was special enough to just go ahead and bring you in and say, hey, let's talk about religion, because everybody tells me not to talk about religion.
Let's break all the rules.
Absolutely. Because when you break the rules sometimes for good cause, then the backlash is sometimes appropriate.
And
so I can't wait to get some hate mail, some hate phone calls. Bring it on, baby. I love it.
It raises a good discussion anyway.
Amen. All right. Okay. So let's get down to business. We got a few minutes left. Russell, tell everybody about yourself and how you got to the station.
Here?
Yeah. At Hot News Talk.
Oh, I don't remember. No,
okay,
let's see.
Enough.
I was 16 or 17. I was probably late 16, early 17, somewhere in there. And I was at church, believe it or not, speaking of religion. And David Toulis, who works here, and I both go to the same church.
What's the name of the church?
Brainerd Hills Presbyterian over on East Brainerd Road.
Presbyterian.
How
many denominations are there?
Well, Presbyterian is a denomination.
It's a denomination, right?
It is a denomination.
So how many denominations are there in Chattanooga, would you say?
Oh, gosh. There's probably like 2 or 3 big ones. But in terms of the amount of diversity in denominations, who knows?
I'm going to say 10 to 20.
You're probably right.
Just baseline.
Yeah.
You know, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Catholic, Baptist. I mean, you've got Church of God. You got Church of Christ. No doubt about it.
45 or 50.
All right, we just got corrected on that. 45 or 50.
According to Eric Judd, our
Eric Judd, because he's the
expert.
genius. Hey, we want to know your source material.
What's
the source material on that, Eric?
Cite your sources, my man. Instead of Google, it's Eric.
Mr. Google himself.
I'll just search Eric for this.
Yeah, just call Eric.
Just type it in.
If you got a question, he's got the answer.
It's
guaranteed right. All right, so continue. I'm going to interrupt sometimes.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good. So yeah, a guy named David Allen Carmichael was coming down, and I'm not actually sure.
2 Davids?
Yeah, 2 of them in the same room. That was really confusing. There's actually like 3 or 4 Davids who go there. Go figure. But David Allen Carmichael, who works for Liberty Works Radio, or did at the time, over in Virginia, was down just visiting. And he and Sab Kupeli, who's the other guy who works here, Confederate Mike, were talking, and he came to our church for some reason. I don't really recall the details on that because it's been so long. But David Toulis asked me, like, you're interested in radio, you should talk to David Allen Carmichael. So I did, and I said, hey, I'm interested in internships. And he's like, well, there's a new radio station you should totally go to and ask about internships. And I did, and I went from intern to then show host like a week later.
Says how well the business was going at the point.
Yeah, really. No, actually, you're probably right. And then I went from show host for a long time. Then I got promoted to news director maybe a year ago, and now I'm doing what I'm doing.
You just brought up a great point that I've got to make to everybody, because this happened in another conversation of mine.
Don't go to college?
No. It's called There Are No Accidents. If you want to call things an accident, if you want to say there's an accident, that's fine with me. But at the end of the day, great things come from accidents. So you talked to David Allen Carmichael, you became an intern. 10 seconds later, you were on the air.
It was basically 2 weeks, and then suddenly I had a show. Yeah,
that was an accident on their part, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so
gross oversight.
All right, so you're okay. So you're in the radio business. Why are you doing this?
I really like radio. It's kind of old school, and I like old school stuff. I collect records and laser discs and all sorts of weird stuff, and I like the whole idea of radio, the way that you can talk into a microphone and communicate with all these different people. Okay. I just love it.
Okay, stop right there. Okay. So we just told everybody we were going to talk about religion, and right. now you're saying you're tying in the radio, and then now you're tying in this weird stuff. So I guess now the transition is to religion, right?
If you want it to be, okay.
Is religion weird?
It can be. If you're like Hare Krishna or something, yeah, it's pretty dang weird.
Yeah, blue elves and stuff.
Yeah.
You think that's going on here in Chattanooga?
Could be. Who knows?
Would be.
It would. If it would happen anywhere, it would be here. That's for sure.
Okay, so then tell me what's tell us something special about religion and how it's impacted you.
Well, religion impacts every aspect of your life. Like people. For instance, back in I think it was 2012 when Mitt Romney was running for president, people got on him for being Mormon. And they say, well, he says, well, that doesn't really have anything to do with me running for president. But the argument was, well, this impacts everything you do. This is your religion. It impacts everything you do. So you're going to apply this Mormonism to your politics, whether you consciously do it or not. And that's how it is with everyone who is religious or is not, because they're going to apply that presupposition to everything they do. So religion affects everything I do, whether I realize it or not. It's sort of like pre-training. It just affects everything I do. It's gotten me out of trouble and kept me from getting into it plenty of times. That's for sure.
So that brings me to a question. Do you think that, do you know that how stringent the rules are and the regulation is in the mortgage industry?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
I guess it's pretty bad. But
it's pretty stringent.
Yeah.
And do you think it would be okay for me to collect data and just ask every client what their religion is?
Probably not.
Probably not a good idea, right?
Sounds like
that's impeding on their personal beliefs, right?
Right.
And that could be used to judge. But at the end of the day, if religion impacts your decision making in life, then that means it impacts maybe whether or not you buy a home.
I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm in this neighborhood and I don't like the feel of it, I'm going to say, I don't think I'll move here. And there could be a religious aspect to that too. Maybe it's a majority Catholic neighborhood in Ireland and I'm Protestant. That could get me in trouble, couldn't it?
Well, somebody told me I have Irish twins for kids because they're so
good.
close together. So does that make me Irish?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know if we should be in the same room together because I'm part Scottish, so I don't know.
Does that mean we fight a lot?
Probably.
Well, no wonder you're a cynic.
I have to be the opposite of you no matter what.
The opposite. You have to be the opposite. Okay, let's bring it together though.
Okay.
So you want to be on the radio, you like being on the radio. Boom, I like being on the radio. I like
real.
telling my opinion. So let's find some common ground here.
Okay.
We like the radio. So tell the world, tell Chattanooga, the local market, tell them what you would want to tell them if you were speaking for your cause, which is, your denomination.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them why your denomination is a very important denomination to be talked about.
Well, I know my denomination also really affects my political beliefs too, because the idea in the denomination we have really affects the ideas of liberty. In fact, it's the founding fathers used these ideas of liberty to fashion the country the way it was. So if I could tell anyone anything, it would probably be, and this is going to sound really cheesy, but it'd probably be just know your rights, know what you can do, because there's a lot that you can do that people have told you all along you couldn't, but you actually probably could.
Right. And so, frankly, liberty impacts your ability to gain land,
mm-hmm.
and then it impacts the taxes that you pay on that land.
Which
the
is,
liberties.
I would say that's anti-liberty taxes, but okay.
No, I agreed. I don't disagree. But if the culture, like we talked about earlier, if society, if we all are trying to invest in education, then we come together, and not everyone's going to agree on everything. But if every single one of us disagrees all the time, if we don't have some type of common bond, are we really gonna make it in the long run?
If everyone's constantly fighting over everything, no, we're not going to be able to really make it, because there's not going to be any common ground or agreement about anything, just like you say. So no, that you have to have a common ground and you have to have cohesion somewhere. Otherwise,
Right.
You're just going to have constant warring in a society that falls apart, which happens in a lot of places. But the best idea is to just join together and agree to disagree on some things.
Well, I know that you wanted to tell everybody about the Calvinistic approach.
I didn't want to get into that too much.
I just was being a jerk. I just didn't want to go into it. So I just kind of delayed.
No,
Right?
it's fine. I'm fine with not talking about it at all.
But if you want to know more about Russell Strout, he's always here. We can always pull him in if anybody has a question for him. And I definitely want to know more about this Calvinistic approach that he takes.
It's a rabbit hole, man. You Google it and you just keep going and going and going.
Right on. Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And we'll have you again.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Hey, by the way, your bill's coming in the mail.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I hope I
excellent.
can afford it.
Yeah, no, probably not. All right, so that was Russell Strout, a little taste of religion. I promised it, so I'm giving it. And hey, don't tell me religion doesn't impact your liberty. Don't tell me that religion doesn't impact your politics. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Religion is personal. It's full of faith. And the one thing I know for certain, I've doubted in my life about God. I have. I'm not afraid to admit it to anyone. Doubting is part of it. But the one thing the confidence of it in general is for me personally, is that I know there is a spirit inside of me. And that's how I have gotten out of that doubt in the past. And that spirit inside of me has helped me believe when no one else believed in me. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't own Home Rate Mortgage. I wouldn't be impacting people's lives. I wouldn't help people buy homes if I didn't believe in that spirit. And that spirit comes from the relationship I have with God. And I'm proud to say that I am a Christian, and my religion is important to me. And it's important to me to help others and to engage them, even if they disagree with me, so that we can make this world a better place. We're at the end of our show, folks. It's been a great day. We got to just about everything. And we just really appreciate everybody listening to us as we develop the show. There is no doubt about it that it's impacting people's lives. We get some great calls. Hot News Talk Radio, 1240 a.m. It's brought to you by Home Rate Mortgage and the Sabrina Realty Company. We're over here in East Brainerd. 805-9100. That's 423-805-9100 for a home quote. And also, you can get a quote. You can get the listings from Sabrina at 423-499-7780. That's 499-7780. Check out our listings at sabrinarealty.com. Homes, mortgages, and making this community, Chattanooga, a better place. That's what we do. Thanks for joining us today. Hot News Talk Radio.